All right. So you drop, so you have to pay him 2, right?
Yep, 2 points. All right, so now this is the beginning position. Both sides have 15 men that they have to put in mirror positions. And backgammon is a lot about reflections.
A mirror image.
Mirror image.
You guys are looking at a mirror
light
image.
and dark. All the checkers tend to be light and dark, whether it's blue and white here, sometimes it's black and white, sometimes it's any darker color and any lighter color.
Right.
And then the one color, in this case, I'm the blue man.
So blue is starting back there. That's kind of your starting point.
He has to go, all of his guys go in this direction.
So they go around, it kind of makes a U-turn, and then you this is your home board. Home board.
This is my home board, and so I have to get all 15 of my guys
into here. But
you're
the guy in white, and you're playing dark checkers, and you're the guy, man in black.
It's a game of contrasts.
Tell you what. Oh, wow, I don't know who's good at No, I like it. No, it's better that way. I don't know.
The yin and yang?
Yin and yang, yeah.
Okay.
So let's leave it confusing to the user who's...
So white moves in this direction, and as you see, the two horseshoe shapes kind of collide.
Right. In opposite directions.
There's a battle that happens, and games can develop into, for instance, what we call priming games.
All right, before we get into that, though, I want to talk about 24 points on each side, like you've said.
All right.
There's 15 men, one side light, the other side dark. What's the objective of the game? This is the starting position. So you roll dice and.
All right. So when we start, I'll show you how the game starts. We both take one die, and we both roll it, and it's territorial. So we have to, and I could have chosen either die to roll to begin with, but you roll one die, but I have to roll on my side of the board, and he has to roll on his side of the board.
Okay.
And then I rolled a 6 and he rolled a 1. Since I rolled a higher number, I get to play the roll 6-1.
Okay.
And so all of my plays are in this direction.
Okay.
And all of his plays are in this direction.
So show me how you play a 6-1.
Well, I could play in any number of ways, but in terms of what is the goal of the game, the goal of the game is for me to get all my blue guys over here into my home quadrant,
so you can,
and then I can start taking them off the board. And so the game ends when somebody has all of their men off the board.
Okay.
And then his goal is to take all of his guys and move them around in this direction to get in his home board and take them off
before you do.
Before I do.
All right. Well, tell me about dice, though. How many sides to a dice? There's numbered 1 through 6, right?
Well, in these dice, these are 6-sided die,
right.
And they go along with the fact that there are 6 points in a quadrant. All right. And I've got 2 die, and he's got 2 die, and there's 4 die.
Okay.
There's 4 quadrants.
So let's get to this.
It's all very symmetric.
Yeah. Let's get to the second roll of the game there. So you get a 6-1.
So I'm going to choose to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1.
Okay.
Now I couldn't, because they total 7, I have to move one guy 6 and then one guy 1. I could have used.
You could have moved one guy 7, couldn't you?
Yep. I could have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1.
All right, that's 7.
I could have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1. So there's any number of choices that you can make with any play. There's been a lot of analysis over the years that the most advantageous play is for me to start building a little block here and play it like that.
Yeah, we'll get into the priming stuff later, but I want to talk just a little bit more about dice. You guys roll these dice from a cup, too. Or no, let's go back to the, so you roll 2 dice each turn, and you get numbers from double 1s to double 6s, right? From 2 to 36.
And other than the first roll of the game, so if he'd have rolled a 6, we would have not been able to start the game because we would not have been able to tell whose turn it was.
Okay.
That's the only time that the dice cannot be the same number.
Okay.
So now that this was my roll, we both pick up our die, and he's going to roll, and now he's going to get to play both dice, and he can get doubles.
All right. So that's just kind of a special thing in the beginning. You both roll
so
1 to see who gets to start.
Let's just say he rolled 6-3, but let's just say he rolled double 3s.
Okay.
Now he gets to.
We're getting ahead. Let's show a regular, just a 6-3 or something, and then we'll talk about doubles next.
I'd rather take double 3s.
Yeah. No, play a 6-3.
Okay.
Yeah, I need one too.
So, but again, just kind of reiterate the point about you can move 1 checker 9, or you can move 1 6 and 1 3, right?
You actually can't move 1 checker 9. You can move 1 checker 6 and then 3, or you can move 1 checker 3 and then 6.
Interesting.
But you can't just make it 9.
All right. All right, so yeah, let's kind of keep playing until you roll. Somebody rolls a set of doubles. We'll kind of talk about what the game's going on here. I'll look at my notes.
So here's a chance that's part of the essence of the game. So I rolled a 2 and a 1. When a player has more than one guy, more than one man on a point, he owns it, which means that the other color cannot go there.
So if you have 2 or more on a point, then you own that, and you can't land on the same point he is. Only one person can have his checkers on that point.
Since I'm going in this direction, if I would have rolled a 5, I could not have landed here because he's got more than one person there. But because he's only got 1 here, I can play a 2 and then a 1, and then that's called hitting the guy.
Right.
And whenever you hit a guy, he goes all the way back to the beginning. And so he goes up on the bar, up on the roof, up on the ceiling.
In the air, right?
Puts him in the air, and then he, on his next roll, has to move this man off of the bar before he can do anything else.
He has to start back at the very beginning. He was almost home.
He was in his home court,
but then he got hit all the way back, and he's got to come in here before he can do anything else, right?
Yep. And then we'll go through the sequences of how that works out.
I want to point out a little Lostism. So is it fair to say that when you own a point, you live together, and when you're a blot, you die alone? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
Ashley, can we get a couple more Miller Lights? How you doing, Mark? I think we need 3.
And genuine here.
So he rolled his little 2-1, and I'm gonna.
Now for him, because he's coming in, and I own the 6 point. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He can't come in with.
If he would have rolled 6 and 6, he would have not been able to.
I would have done what's called bouncing, or a lot of people call it fanning,
or dancing,
or dancing. But I didn't. I rolled a 4-1.
And so,
so he could come in here
on a 1,
and then he can move any other 4 he wants.
Okay.
Or he could come in here on a 4, and he can move any other 1 he wants.
All right. Now you guys are familiar with Lost. You guys watch the show, right?
Yeah.
And so you know the importance of the numbers in Lost: the 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42.
Well.
But you're familiar with that in the show. Are there? I know there's 15 checkers in each side.
Wait, run those. Tell me those numbers again.
4, 8, 15, 16.
Okay, never mind. I was going for a minute there. I thought there's none of the numbers are over 6. So they could be dice rolls.
Well, and they're all between 2 and 36, except for 42. But 42 would be 36 plus 6.
Or well, 42. A lot of times when we say numbers here, like he rolled a 43.
Oh yeah, yeah. So a 4 and a 3 is a 43.
Right.
So a 42 might be an interesting roll.
But 8.
What's wrong with 8?
An 8 is a number that you add the 2 dice together. So they're all end up being backgammon rolls.
Okay.
There's not like a 13. Is there?
A 1, 3. Oh, you can't roll a 6 and a 7, yeah.
What are the numbers again?
4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42.
23.
Well, 23 is like 2 and 3, or 32.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I think you're stretching it there, dude.
Well, no, there's, I mean, we'll hit on, 15 is a number.
Yep.
And there's 15 checkers on each side.
Yep.
There's not, yeah, I'm not, that's just it. Finding meaning in these numbers is maybe not what the backgammon business is about.
Well, they're all points on a compass, right?
Well, yeah. And you know, I did an interesting thing. I looked up, Keith was over and he told me, I was asking about how high you guys were rated on the American Backgammon Tour. And there's that big list of all the all-time tour date, and I find my own name on that list with a number by it. Your number like 116, you're like 170 something. I'm 1208 because I got like 2/10 of a point.
Well, you were in a tournament at some point.
I took second in the novice in Chicago.
You settled.
I know. I broke the rules.
You settled.
I know.
That's great.
All right.
Oh, that's a terrible.
Smart juice.
Oh God. I really cringe when I think of that story because I just didn't know. Well, now it's an interesting thing. You guys roll out of cups, right? Because people might get accused of manipulating the dice. And there's a thing called precision dice. There's all these kind of little rules you have for preventing manipulation.
Using the dice cups, even today, is pretty much an American thing.
Okay.
Some friends